Hello party people, welcome back to a video about art that I have made. As it were, today happens to be actual Juneteenth, the first federally recognized holiday, Juneteenth. If you want to see my Juneteenth painting, that is the video I have posted before this one in time as we exist. And it's a long one. I'm trying to make this one a little bit shorter. So we have to go back to January, which is when this video was made and this painting was made. Little old me had no idea what was coming. All of this was made before January 6th, which is when the U.S. Capitol was under attack. So I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm currently working on my first ever collection of paintings. It's a huge undertaking, and I hope to be sharing more about the process here as I go. The release date is August 22nd. I will have a ton of fun things coming out, not just physical paintings, but things I haven't had before. So get hyped, get excited, and definitely follow me on Instagram for up-to-dates, behind the scenes, and more day-to-day stuff on my life. And let's get into the video. So we got to do a quick check-in here. Quick check-in. We have to do a quick check-in. A little bit. I was like doing this painting, this little guy, and I have every intention of finishing this smaller one, but I'm like, I really wanted to do something. So at the same time doing the purple on this, I was also like, I had another painting that I wanted to start. So I went to the art store and I bought my stretcher bars and stretched this canvas because I was intending this canvas for something else. And then last night I was hungover almost all day. But then at night I wasn't. So I was like, let's get to work. And I was up till like 2:30, 3 a.m. working on a mock-up, which you probably can see a little bit of here. And I was like, now we're cooking. So here we are. I thought this was gonna be it. Looks like that's not the case. And I really don't feel like I have much control over what's happening, even though I do. I'll talk a little bit more about what inspired this, but we're working with the word plantation. Part of the inspiration was that I was at Joann's Fabric and they have golden paint. I didn't know that they had it in some places, and they had neon, and that's something I haven't been able to find at my local Michaels's. They do have it at my local art store, but I never looked paint section because I'm just like, expensive. Now I kind of fucks with it. I fuck with that yellow. This paint it's very transparent and see-through. I mix like a pale yellow color with some of this in it to kind of give it a little and then paint it over top of that once it had dried. So, and then you get this nice neon yellow color that we love. We as in me, myself and I. That's the end of my speech, I think. What movie do I watch? Ooh, Monster. Wally's really good. Okay, while I stir, I'm feeling more confident in my process. I did a series of paintings 2 weeks leading up to the election and then 2 weeks following, and those were like really quick 24-hour paintings. Like I didn't, they more like but they all didn't take me, each painting did not take me more than 24 hours. I feel like I really streamlined my process for those paintings, and I want to kind of bring back, another thing I wanted to bring back was like my pixelation that I was doing, where it was like less finished boxes and more just like brush strokes, kind of like impressionistic, but like think digital pixels. Something that is something that I want to bring into this painting, even though it's gonna be much larger. Yeah, so now I have this yellow. It's kind of bright, kind of fun and funky. On this day in my life, it is January 1st, 2021. There are a handful of the new strain of the, on the West Coast, because it originated in the UK as far as everyone knows right now. Looks like we're gonna be staying inside a little bit longer. The groundhog will say that winter is going to last until 2022. For me, luckily, my life doesn't really change with that. Anyway, technically my third day working on this, but it's like my second actually painting. Stop! And yeah, we're just gonna plug along. I'm pretty sure I can get like the background kind of done. And one of the things that I do with a lot of these paintings is, not all of them, but what I like to do is to paint every layer, because when you paint with the acrylics, you can see like the little 3D things like of the paint strokes. So for example, even when you paint over this letter, this letter, these letters down here will be completely painted over at the end, so you won't even be able to see this. But just with the way that I paint, maybe I'm not painting the normal way, but the way that I paint is like when I cover it up, you're able to see it, especially when I do these letters. So like these letters will also be covered up to some extent, especially right here. You'll be able to kind of like see them, but when you get close enough, you can see the layers through the colors, if that makes sense, because they're kind of like 3D a little bit, which I like. I think that's cool. I think you get like a little bit more when you get closer to them, which you can't really get through here, but I'll try to show you. Anyway, so I paint all the layers. So we're gonna paint all of this today. And I also don't like this color, so once I put the second coat of blue on and widen them with that, I'll go in with other color that is actually the color I want. Because this is more like light purple, dark blue. It's just too dark, I think. But on the other hand, anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Also, my seasonal depression, like I can feel it like creeping in on myself. I hope that worked. Anyways, I can see it creeping in on myself, feel it creeping in. So we gotta make sure to stay up and at 'em, drink our orange juice. Today we're painting today. Painting, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna put on my coveralls. While we're watching some time lapses, I will be talking a little bit about this painting. This was at the time the largest canvas I had actually stretched myself. It is 38 by 38, and it is part of my practicing to work up to a bigger canvas, which I have now stretched, but at the time of making this painting, I had not even come close to being able to stretch this big of a canvas, so it was a good practice for me to stretch a canvas this big. And the main inspiration behind this painting is pretty simple. I live in the South, and I took a drive, as I do or have done a lot, and I do a lot, especially during this past year when there's not really many places I feel comfortable going safely in public. So I go for drives a lot, and I did go for drives a lot, and I just moved to a new area, so I went on this drive down a road that became one of my favorite places to go and to be on mornings before I was painting, or weekend mornings when I just needed some time to think or to get out of the studio. And my first time going down this road, I started passing this plantation and this plantation and this plantation, and I'd never seen so many plantations back to back to back to back. And it was kind of like an eye-opening thing, I guess. I don't know, kind of just, it hit me all at once that, and there's still things that people go to visit, and I don't know why you would go to visit a plantation, really. For me personally, I plan on going to some of them this summer to see how much Black history is being spoken about at these places, which, based on some of their websites, is not a lot. And they're places of, a lot of the times, awful things, if not physical abuse, emotional abuse, and separating families. And most importantly for me, it's like separating people from their culture. I mean, the whole thing of having slaves, taking people from one place, putting them in another place, and just stripping them of all that they have is just so awful. And it was kind of the first time for me realizing like how much it's still here, it's still around. Like there's so much history constantly surrounding me in Virginia where I live. It's just kind of, I don't know if raw is the right word, but it was very impactful. That drive was very impactful on me. And at the time I was living, fun fact, the past year I was living in a part of Richmond called Shockoe Bottom. I don't live there anymore, but I was living in Shockoe Bottom, and it's right along the river, and Shockoe Bottom happens to be a very small part of Richmond that was the second largest porting place for slaves. And so spending the past year there in that specific place, knowing the historical context of the building and the cobblestone streets, and seeing the river almost every day, and thinking of how many hundreds of thousands of people were brought on that river to this country and sold in the very place where I was like living in like a very gentrified neighborhood, was just really impactful for me. And that first drive where I was passing all those plantations was also very impactful, and I want to unpack that a little bit more in the future. But yeah, so this is the painting. The red in the back spells the word plantation twice, and then the definition of the word plantation is the second layer on top, and the highlighted part is kind of the part I felt more discussed slavery without actually talking about or using the exact word slavery. And then the plant on the front is a cotton plant that I did for a Fiverr illustration gig at the beginning of last summer, and I just happened to have and wanted to repurpose it. And yeah, I really like the way this painting turned out. It was my first time playing around with the pixelation, but making it more 3D at a bigger scale, like I mentioned earlier in the video. I did that with my November series of paintings, 2 weeks leading up to the election, and I think 2 weeks following. So this is my first time doing it on a bigger scale, and I really like it, and I plan on doing that more, and I have done that more since that painting, this painting, whatever. It's been 6 months, almost 7, since I started this painting. It's one of my favorites to date. I say that about a lot of my paintings, but it is one of my favorites, and I feel like it's one of the few paintings that I had really started to lock down my process. So it's cool to look back at where I was then and where I am now. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to do more videos like this. I am sensing a shift in myself and in my painting specifically. I'm working on this fall collection, and like I said, I'll talk about it more. But this past year I've spent a lot of time and effort making paintings that require a lot of time and emotional effort from me, and I plan on continuing to do that, but sharing it less publicly. I think I still would like to, for myself, document the process. As of right now, for YouTube, that could completely change in a day, who knows, but I do have some paintings I'm planning on working on that I would like to document the process of, and I will document the process of here for all of you. If you are here, you're part of a special little club. And I'm going to be moving away from selling prints of my more political or civil rights based paintings, because I don't feel comfortable with that personally. And I would like to move in the direction of selling more paintings like this one. And I feel very comfortable at selling prints and paintings like this. And it's also a way for people to get more of my actual physical work. These little panels, which I've been working on, are way more affordable. Here comes Milo. Ow, here it comes. So yeah, so I'm moving in a different direction. If you want to continue to see me and hear me talk about my political paintings, I might do a video where I kind of run down all my paintings from this past year and just talk about them a little bit briefly. So if you're interested in that, let me know, hit me up, and I will do that. I'm missing my sunglasses. But anyways, I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you later. Well, not really. I'm looking at a camera in my room with my cat, but you will see me later. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Support me on Patreon if you like my work and what I do, and be excited for my fall collection. I have so many fun things coming out. Pins. Did someone say pins? Oops, 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 oops. Cat's out of the bag. Just for you guys. Just for you guys. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Subscribe on Patreon if you have it in you and are interested. And I hope you're doing well. Okay. Bye. Milo, the claws. The claws. Say goodbye. I want to get him to wave. Wave. Say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. See you later, alligator. Okay. Bye. See ya. See ya. See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.